What if the key to changing your reality started with changing your mindset? Our next speaker is here to guide us on how understanding your thoughts and yourself can shape the outcomes you experience in every area of life. Becca Stackhouse-Morson is the founder of Stacked Intent, a certified family life educator, yoga teacher, and women's self-defense coach. With a deep knowledge of human development and wellness, Becca helps individuals reconnect with their most authentic selves through self-awareness, intentional living, and holistic strategies that support every life season. Today, she's here leading us in a transformative workshop presentation that explores how mindset matters, because the way you think about yourself, your circumstances, and your future can reshape your reality. So get ready to realign your thoughts, renew your mindset, and reclaim your power. Please welcome the grounded, insightful, and intentional Becca Stackhouse-Morson.
Hello, everybody. I am excited to be here today as one of your presenters. I am here to motivate you to discover a life that you truly adore and love every single day by getting a real deep understanding of your authentic self. So, welcome to the Empower Her Step virtual conference, and I am so excited and I look forward to sharing some of my ideas with you. These are just a few things just to give you a little bit more about who I am as Becca. The pictures that you see are just some of my favorite things. I love lavender. I love lighthouses. The third picture is I love to travel, and then I like to be around water. So those are just a few things more about me that you heard from my bio. If you scan the QR code that you see in front of you, it will take you to just all the resources that Stacked Intent has to present to you. So we're going to jump in first to personal growth and development. My journey personally for personal growth, it's been a continuous of evolving, and it has shaped as my life has transitioned. The most significant elements, a lot of times, it's our inner dialogue. It's about what our current state is, what has inspired us, and ultimately, it is who you are as a soul individual. And it is what takes charge of your personal growth and influencing your daily lifestyle and the visions that you have for yourself. And so what I found with that personal growth is it really starts with that inward look and that looking at yourself with that inner dialogue first. And that's really one of those important parts of personal growth. It's also that there's various dimensions of our personal growth and our development. And that can be from truly nurturing what qualities inspire our every single day. Beginning by establishing clear goals that align with what your vision are across different areas can really help you in your life, as your career, with your relationship, through your health, and so much more throughout your life. If you've got that relationship and goals aligned, it's going to help a lot. You may also want to start to focus gradually on some expansion in aspects of yourself, but keep in mind during this journey, it's not a quick journey in your personal growth. It's not in your development. It's just one of those things that might take several months. It might come over years as you reach what your desired destination is, as you continue to learn along the way. But we do have to remember when we're going through our personal growth and our development that there are twists and turns that become a part of our life and a part of our process. And it's just staying committed to what you want that roadmap of your life to look like. And that's what becomes really important. And it's being sure that when you've made mistakes, to be able to pause, reflect on what those mistakes might be, and be able to see some insight from yourself in that. And most importantly, it's always being willing to learn and enhance what your knowledge and your skills are. That's really going to help you grow in your personal growth and as you continue to develop and find those ways in that aspect. And then when we talk about leadership and influence, leadership to me has so many different ways, and we all kind of have a different definition of how we view leaders. But leadership has few ways that we can look at it and define it. This is through the action of leading a group of people or an organization, and it's the state or position of being a leader. Leadership is one of those things that also involves elements of influence that are tied to our essential characteristics. It is a journey to discover who you are authentically. And there are several key traits that play a significant role in fostering what your personal growth is as you're in that development of an ongoing leader. So I'm going to pause and ask you a question. What are characteristics that you recall from a good leader? Now that you have a few of those in your mind, we also can learn what are some characteristics that you recall from somebody that was a bad leader. So some of those traits that you might have thought about when you were thinking about a good leader could be communication, building trust, collaboration, somebody that empowers, somebody that's self-aware, a decision maker. So when we talk about communication, it's somebody that can show through different ways, but the key thing there is to be sure that you're being an active listener in conversations and we're not just waiting to respond. It's also being able to build trust. There was a Harvard Business Review study that shows the effective leaders have trust, and that's a key part of their leadership. Collaboration is one of those other aspects that becomes so important of being able to be creative is for everyone to be able to give the space to use their abilities in collaboration. It's also being able to empower. Effective leaders give their team members or partners or friends that feeling of being empowered. They provide the autonomy that they need for the opportunity to grow. So they might give you a task, or you might give somebody a task, and then you give them the space to be able to do it. Good leaders are self-aware because they are able to go inward in aspects and they really help understand themselves. And they're able to recognize what their own strengths are. But on the important side of that, and the flip side, they're able to recognize what their weaknesses are. Decision making. That one's important. A good leader is able to make decisions, and it's a trait that they have. Leaders that can have human error of just picking somebody due to how they like it, they like their idea better, or they just like the person better. But a good leader is able to incorporate the ideas without bias, and they're able to look at it even if it's able to debate or challenge an idea during the decision-making process. When we talk about building confidence and resilience, it becomes important. And there are 3 C's that we can look at for building that resilience. But in the space that you are building your confidence and your resilience, it takes you time to focus in on your growth and your mindset. And we've been talking about this. And then setting realistic goals, practicing self-compassion, or in my case this year, I've really been focusing on self-acceptance and building this resilience side. And even building your social connections becomes important. But as you are building your resilience, you could always focus on those 3 C's. And those 3 C's are communication, control, and challenge. Communication is these people who are able to communicate their lives and their goals. These individuals are able to do it in their personal life, but they're also able to translate it into their professional. So they're able to put it in both. You're able to have control of what's going on and what you are able to spend your time doing. And then challenges, these people view any difficulty or bump in the road just as a challenge, as well as they look at their failures or their mistakes as lessons. So they're able to take the bad with the good and turn it into a learning ability. These are the elements that, according to research, they're essential for you to build that time with yourself. As you're building the resilience, it's learning to relax, it's learning to be aware, it's learning from those failures and mistakes, it's using something like SMART goals, and it's even being flexible. If you've never heard what a SMART goal is, it's being smart, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So, SMART gives you 5 steps to really making your goals become a lot more actionable. As you are striving to overcome the challenges and as you're growing and strong, these experiences become very vital on our life's journey. And while you're navigating through these obstacles, you are developing resilience and you're setting realistic goals that can be broken down into some manageable steps. By focusing on being present and fostering that positive mindset, you're able to learn and seek the support that you need in life. Always remember that embracing a growth mindset is going to aid you in moving forward through each of the stages in your journey as you move forward in life. Now, empowering you to achieve your dreams. This is so important. And so I hope that you are able to really see that empowering yourself is really looking inward. It's really learning to hear your voice before you hear everybody else's. It's learning to have that relationship with yourself that is healthy and it's positive and it's good. That's learning to, even in the days that aren't great, to love something about your every single day. I am here to help you be empowered, that you are capable to achieve your goals so that you are one in charge of the aspects of your life. But first, you have to know what your goals are. So you've got to sit down with yourself and you have to reflect on what you really want your goals to be. And SMART goals help you really make those achievable. And be okay with the changing over time or your journey being a different path. Have any of you looked back over 5 years and you may not be in the place that you thought you would be? I'm a little bit there, but that's okay. That doesn't mean that your goals are still unachievable. It just might be on a different path or in a different time than you had originally thought it was going to be. One of the biggest ways to help you achieve your goals is starting with not letting yourself vanish. And this can definitely be one of those things that is easier said than done, but it is so important to remember who you are and allow yourself to evolve and change. None of us are the same today as we were 10 years ago. And so if you can incorporate these and learn to change with the process and the times, you'll be great. So this can come through nurturing a healthy self-relationship. And when we hear relationships, sometimes romantic is where we go. But relationship goes so much beyond that and goes into you. It starts with you. It starts with your relationship with yourself. So you can do this by focusing on what makes you unique. What makes you you? What makes your finances independent? Even if you share them with a partner, you can still have some financial independence. Having established healthy boundaries that you have to respect just as much as anybody else is going to. It's also learning the art of self-love. Self-love becomes so important when you want to build an empowering self. Respect for your personal relations and balance. These are just 6 areas that I found through a question of how do you not let yourself vanish that are common threads that people have either allowed themselves to vanish or that's how they've kept themselves through life changes, achieving goals, all these different aspects. So you are important, which in turn, once you have achieved some of this, what your goals are, you'll be able to find what's right in front of you. And I encourage you to find the ways that you fill your soul and that you love you. And you are building even in the middle of a challenge so that you can build some of that resilience we talked about, build some of that growth, and really learn to love who you are. So today, I hope that you've taken away a spark of motivation to truly explore your most authentic self and leading to a deeper understanding that you can cultivate each day with. Thank you for joining me today.
Hello and good vibes. Welcome back to Good Morning Minute. Today we heard from Becca Stackhouse and her presentation at the Empower Her Steps conference. Her session was all about leaning into authenticity and embracing every season of life. Becca Stackhouse reminded us that authenticity isn't about perfection. It's about leaning into every season of life with intentional care, self-relationship, and wellness. Her message challenges us to slow down, listen to ourselves, and rediscover the power of living aligned with who you truly are. It's a beautiful reminder that empowerment starts from within. Here's a quote from Rebecca. When you connect back to your authentic self, you give yourself permission to grow and thrive in ways you never thought possible. And friends, that's a truth we can all carry with us today. I'm Angelina Mojica, your life coach, sending you much love, much peace, many blessings.